Welcome to this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. I'm Mike Kinney, your host. You should know the drill by now. Throughout our different episodes, we find really cool people, anything to do with this amazing culture of automobiles, the whole genre and realm of it, whether it's museums or builders and everybody in between. Not too long ago, a few months back, we had Gary Bennett on, really good friend of ours. Well, buckle your seatbelt. Today, we got the other half, as in Muffy Bennett, and believe it or not, she can be almost as cool, maybe cooler than Gary. Well, we can't say that out loud, maybe Gary will hear us. But before we bring Buffy on, probably one of the best ways to introduce Buffy is to hear a little bit from Muffy herself. Hey, Rick, hit that play button, buddy.
I've flown across the frickin' country before, and I've already asked all my questions, and I've gathered my information, I've done my homework, and I got my photographs, you know, top side, bottom side, under the hood, everything. I get there, and it's a whole different ball game.
She's sitting there, 114 degrees outside, in the shade, and the guy stands her up.
You know, I've been lied to, and part of it I know is the game, you know, and is it hard to be taken seriously in the industry? Yeah, but sometimes I do find amazing deals. You know, I'll go out there, I'll pound the pavement, and I'll find one gem. Everything I deal with is passion driven. It's not something that anyone needs, you know, and to walk in as a woman, in some scenarios it can be a complete and total disadvantage, and in other scenarios it can be like the world is my oyster. This woman gets it. This is a car girl. They don't make them like me, and I know that I'm eccentric and I'm weird and I'm different, but that works to an advantage too, you know, because really I understand.
Yeah. As to my humble opinion, she's not eccentric, she's not weird. The phrase we stole years ago for her, she is, in my humble opinion, the first lady of collector cars. Muffy, come on down, so to speak. We are thrilled to have you with us. How you doing today, girlfriend?
Oh, Mike, it is so wonderful to be considered for your show, and I'm honored to be here. I'm great. I woke up this morning, and every day's a gift. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I love your background behind you. You just happen to have a motorcycle back there.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, that's Gary's 57 Mustang Stallion, I believe it is.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is inside our house. As a matter of fact, we've got 5 motorcycles inside our house.
Of course you do. And
we live it.
Yeah, you live it every day. And I was quick summary on your bio. Let's look at the notes. You had you helped do a big number for 57 Ford F-code Skyliner retractable. And for the viewers, that's the one the trunk opens up and the roof drops down inside of you. Think you hit it right around 330,000. So that's a pretty cool deal.
That was a pretty cool deal. And let me tell you, that was an amazing car because it was supercharged from the factory and it was a 2-owner vehicle. And I actually set a world record for it. Some say they made 7 of them. Some say they made 14 of them. We'll never really know because the records aren't out there. But I did set a world record with that one. And that happens to be my crown jewel, if you will.
I would hope so. Okay, to get everybody kind of get a sense, there's a lot of moving parts with Muffy. And I mean that in the best possible way. And some people, they kind of get into cars later in life. With Miss Bennett, I think it started about the time you were in the crib. We got some pictures here we call the early days. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a shot coming up of you and getting ready to go to your high school prom in a Thunderbird.
Yes.
Now,
that would be me in all my glory.
And now help me understand. So you specifically picked the color of the dress to match the car?
Yes, my mom made that dress for me, and I asked her to make it to match the car because that's just the way that I roll, and I still kind of do that on occasion. And yeah, it was just this giant teal nightmare with really big 90s hair. Look how big that hair. A couple hair colors ago, too.
Couple of hair colors, yeah. We can relate. And I think we got a couple more picks. Here's one of my favorite ones. This is you, and there's this other guy you might know. I think his first name's Gary.
Yes, that would be my better half, Gary. We got married in saloon number 10, where Wild Bill Hickok was shot, and that was during a Corvette rally. believe it or not. And here's your visual. It was Corvette, 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 Nissan Altima rental, Corvette, Corvette, Corvette.
I love it. And that's a great shot. I think you got one of you guys kind of on the beach. Now, to me, that's kind of like the picture postcard thing right there. There's two people that obviously, they care for each other deeply, and you guys are the best friends.
Yeah, we are. We've been together for over 20 years now, and that was our engagement photo, one of our engagement photos. And boy, look how young we are. Holy smokes.
Yeah, well, I've always told everybody if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself a few years ago.
Boy, howdy. I'm surprised I'm still ducking and swinging, to be honest.
Well, you are rock and rolling among the best. We were, for the viewers, we're talking before we came on camera. We usually manage to see each other each year at SEMA, but it's kind of like, hi, how you doing? Bink, and then we're off to do an interview, or you guys have got a business meeting. So we don't get a lot of time to chat.
We don't, and this is wonderful because literally it's like a drive-by hugging.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. Let's take a selfie together. Oh my gosh, let's do it again next year. See ya.
See ya. Hey, Gary, make sure you get one with Mike. Okay, we got to go now. And then you and I start talking, and Gary comes over. Okay, Muffy, we got this thing going on. And then we had Gary on the show a few months ago, and with Tony Stewart, we got shots with celebrities later on. And I think he was telling Gary at one point he had a dream that he was going to marry you. As far as Tony?
I don't know what that was about.
I
don't think it was a marriage thing. I think it was, he said he had a dream about me, and Gary said, I really didn't know what to say. And I said, I hope he just nodded and walked away.
Yeah, because I was teasing Gary. I said, well, really, how do you follow up with that? And I said, well, it is a compliment, I think, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it. Us old broads will take what we can get, right?
Well, girlfriend, you got more style than about 9 other women put together. You're like the kid sister I wish I had growing up. I'm just saying. I think we got some pictures because you actually have your own company. This is the muffybennett.com.
Yeah, that's actually, I started Bennett Automotive Specialist back in 2006 because
Perfect.
I was, up until that point, I was buying cars and doing light restorations and selling them under my personal name. And I'd only done a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then you can only sell so many before you need a license. So I went ahead and I got myself a license, and that was at one point my shop. And there's some of those cars, most of those cars are mine. Some belong to people they're in storage for.
Sure.
It's been a lot of fun. I do pretty much anything in the collector car sector. I consult with auction companies. I help out folks when it comes to liquidating their collections.
Perfect.
We do finding as well. We don't do a whole lot of that. We have picked up a lot of international clients and a lot of celebrities too. So we've been fortunate.
Perfect. Yep. We got one more shot, and you're on Ben's show, Be About It, and it was kind of like the business acumen that you bring to this. Because back in the day, you were a paralegal. You've worked with a lot of companies. You got quite a bit of game going on.
I'm really lucky that way. Yeah, being a paralegal in the legal field, I walked into my first law firm and I was working 2 jobs and going to school. And I said, I really got to consolidate these jobs here if I'm going to make it. So I went ahead and I walked in and I said, hey, I'll work for you guys for 2 weeks for free. And if you don't like me, cut me loose. And they kept me. 5 years later, I was managing the place, and then I moved to England. And I've used that to help propel me into what I do today. I'm really good with auction law. I'm really good with contract drafting and the like. Mergers, acquisitions, franchising, that kind of stuff.
So for the viewers, hopefully you're getting a sense. She's just not this stunning woman that knows a little bit about cars. No. She is the real deal in this. She has expertise on a scale of 1 to 10. I think she's about a 14 or maybe even a 15 in this. And she has the legal side of it as well. So if you contact her, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, you're going to really enjoy the conversation, and you're really going to relax as far as whether you want to do an acquisition or you want a collection. Maybe you want to reduce some of your inventory. Muffy's going to be the person to help you do it, and you're going to love the process. Is that a pretty good way to summarize that?
That is a wonderful way to summarize it, and I'm flattered. You're not entirely accurate. I'm still a student, Mike, and I've got to be a student till I'm dead.
Well, this is true. We're all learning something every day, right? It's just
Oh boy, howdy, and it's impossible to learn it all, but I'm sure as hell trying.
sure as hell trying. We got some event pictures here. So here's another facet of Muffy. She's also a professional ringman. And that's another area that you and I share. We both went through the Ringman's Institute. So talk a little bit about these events, because you can really help the bidding get going, girlfriend.
No kidding. I didn't know you went to PRI. Yes, I went to
bet.
PRI, learned the ins and outs of it, learned how to prospect, learned how to work the crowd, if you will, and it's been really beneficial and a lot of fun. And I donate my time typically to
Perfect.
charitable events. And it's been right. I've met some amazing people. I'm kind of like a comedian when I'm a ring person.
bet.
I've been known to sit on the wives' laps and ask for another, a couple grand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
So we got a couple more pics here. And now this is your better half. That kind of looks like a SEMA show, I'm just thinking.
Yep, you got it. He was filming a promo piece for the SEMA show. We do those on occasion for folks that we know and love and
You
work
bet.
with. And that group, they're an exceptional bunch of people. And yeah, that's him in action.
Yeah. And so you're there always cheering him on, as we like to say. And I think we got one
Heck yeah.
more shot. So what is Leadfoot all about? It looks like you're in there with a whole pile of your friends enjoying it.
I am. Actually, Gary and I belong to a lot of collector car clubs and a lot of exotic clubs here in Arizona. And that's
Right.
one of the ones that I belong to. They're called the Leadfoot Ladies. And they are all about propelling supporting women in the automotive industry and automotive sector.
Oh, very cool.
A bunch of great women right there. I am honored to be associated with them. They are fantastic individuals. They are, ethical, moral, upstanding, and they really, we all have the same goal, and we all have each other's backs. And that happens to be at the Concours up in Fountain Hills, which was a great time. We go to that every year.
Very cool.
And it was our display.
Nice. All right, but we got more pictures coming up, and naturally we got pictures of cars. Okay, here's a teaser for the viewers. You've seen some 32s. I guarantee you haven't seen one like this. So we'll do that in a minute. Before we jump to all of that, and these are always hard, I apologize in advance. To date, what's your favorite automotive memory? I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, Michael.
I know. I shouldn't do this to you.
Honestly, no, I think it's kind of a collection of memories. So
Cool.
one of the cars that I drive on a somewhat regular basis is a Lamborghini Huracan LP6104 Spider.
Nice.
We love taking that car as well as our Ford GT out to shows. And whenever a child expresses any semblance of interest in these cars, immediately we ask them if they want to sit in it. We ask them if they want to, start it up.
Beautiful.
And sometimes we'll give them a little miniature of the car to commemorate that experience. So
Nice.
it's kind of like showing the future generations how much fun these are, because, I think some of us have some concerns about the passion and ensuring that
Yes.
it gets passed on to the
Yes.
next generation.
Yes.
And I think that that's a really good way to do it. And I know it sounds really geeky, but
Oh, no.
but that's seeing these children's faces light up and eyes light up, especially, and this is going to sound really sad. Here's a sad portion of it. We do a lot of work with Make-A-Wish. And so a kid
bless.
will, have a special request, and we'll honor it and do what we can to fulfill it. And if I don't know, if we don't have the car in our collection, then we'll have someone else, come out and help us out with that.
Beautiful.
So it's creating a legacy and instilling this in the next generation.
What-
That is my favorite memory.
Great answer. I build on that real quickly. We happen to have our Plymouth Superbird 2.0 426 Hemi, and so on the side of the supports for the wing, it's got the Roadrunner with this racing helmet, and it's a cartoon character. And we've been at shows, and the children like 5, 6, 7 years old. They come and they go, and because they see the cartoon, I said, "Would you like to sit in the driver's seat?" And the parents go, "Really?" Yeah, and it's just, I've had parents, for viewers, listen to what we're talking about. I've had parents almost in tears. You kind of made the weekend for them, right? And the kid sits there and you slide the door shut. And I said, give mom and dad a thumbs up and look at them. I have them beat the horn. And And just like what you're saying, it can really make a difference. And they say, I want to learn more about some of these cool cars, whatever they fit in the alphabet or the styling, and we can kind of help keep all this going to the next generation.
Exactly. And what a wonderful thing you're doing for them, Mike. And you're exposing them to a collector car that, you don't see them. I mean, you see so few of them. Yeah, exactly. And it's fantastic.
And it's just so much fun. Okay, your next question. If you didn't like the first one, you probably won't be real thrilled with this one. To date, what's your favorite automobile? Uh-oh. I know. I'm getting the look, y'all.
No. I love these questions. And it's kind of like saying, what's your favorite child?
Well, this is true.
And I don't have any children, so that's pretty much what I liken it to. So I think it's the brand new 2023 Z06 convertible that we have in the garage. Right. Yeah, Gary got one with a Z07 package. The thing is hypersonic gray with a red interior, and it is badass. Excuse the language. It really is an amazing piece. I mean, it's so much car for the money.
True.
And everything about it's amazing. And I hadn't driven a mid-engine Corvette until we got this particular piece, and
really?
I'm falling in love with it. Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple Lamborghinis, excuse me, which are great and everything, but this thing it's so versatile. It handles so well. It sticks so well. I mean, it's an amazing car. So I think that's it.
And I'm grinning. I got to share with the viewers. Another reason I love this woman. So most people say, well, your favorite automobile. Well, we have a 1923 Corvette. Not with Muffy. 1923 Corvette. Here's the paint color, interior color, the style of the rims, the air pressure that goes in with the air monitor, because you are truly the first lady of collector cars. Was that cool segue or what?
I love that. That was awesome, Mike. And it's so true. Oh my gosh, you have me down to a T. It scares me.
It's kind of scary. Okay, viewers, take a deep breath. We hinted about this stunning 32. Here she is in all her glory. Hey, Rick, hit that video, buddy. When I first saw that slideshow, I went, oh my goodness. And you obviously had some of the best talent in the world helping you with that. And I was telling some of my friends, I said, when you see inboard brakes and then spindle mounted wheels, you know they've got this thing figured out and designed. It's very well, impeccable car, girlfriend, impeccable.
Yeah, it is. That truly was an amazing piece, and I can't take the credit for the build. That was actually commissioned by a gentleman by the name of George Lang, and it was built by Bobby Alloway, designed by Chip Foose back when he was underneath Boyd Coddington's office, if you will, shop. And everything about that thing was a masterpiece. And we did hold a world record for the highest hammer price on that one as well. My business partner, Wayne Halibur, and I purchased that. And until I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, was it broken by another 32. But that car was impeccable. And I remember selling it. We sold it no reserve, and I'm at the end of the auction block, and I am bawling my eyes out. And Gary comes down and says, "What is wrong?" And I said, "I'm just so sad to see it go." And he said, "You set a world record." I said, "I know, but I'm really sad to see it go." He said, "Stop getting attached, or you're never going to succeed." And that's my problem. I fall in love with all of them. I'm terrible. My heart's like a timeshare, Mike.
The baby's leaving the nest. We had a 69 satellite years ago, and I put a Magnum in it and tricked it out a little bit. A guy out of Nova Scotia bought it. His two young nephews, they flew out and drove it, and they're pulling out of the driveway. I went, oh, because I got this little bag of money, but at the same time, it's leaving, because when you do these cars and you put so much into it, they kind of become part of your DNA. Okay, we have some pictures of some cars we're going to be talking about. So that is just a great shot. I'm digging the cowboy hat, and that is a Continental kit, if I'm not mistaken, on that bird.
Yeah, that sure is. That was my 58 Thunderbird. I loved that car. I drove it for several years. I had the interior all redone. It's not stock on the interior, but the balance of it is correct. And I am a Thunderbird chick. I tell you what, and nobody really likes these big birds, especially. And these are the ones that I grew up with because I went to prom in '59. So I bought this one, played with it for a long time, and a gentleman out of Australia purchased it, and God love him, he passed away before he took delivery of the car. It was in transit. Yeah, so his grandkids are now having a large time in it. Sometimes I get the occasional photo from them, and they're just loving it, and that just warms my heart.
Absolutely.
That was a great car.
I think we got a few more we can step through here. Hello. Yeah, that about 63, 64?
Actually, that's a 67, and that's Gary's car. He sold that in 1972, and the guy called him back in the 2000s and said, "Hey, you want to buy your car back?"
Really?
Gary's like, "Okay."
Sure.
And he said, "What's happened to it?" And he said, "Well, I've added 40,000 miles to it. It's had one repaint back to the original color, but other than that, it's pretty much stock." And that is a fantastic car. I loved that car. Oh my goodness.
Very, very cool. Now we're cruising into a Concours event, it looks like. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, that's my sunburnt self leaving a car show up in Fountain Hills. I am so tired and fried, and I didn't know that photo was being taken. Otherwise, I'd have turned the other way and smiled. And I'm just trying not to kill some pedestrians in my Lamborghini.
Well, it's good. It's good to have a goal.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I went there with all my girls, the Leadfoot ladies. Also met the Lamborghini Club up there.
Very cool.
The Lamborghini Club is just, they're outstanding individuals. I just adore those people, and they're really supportive of Gary and I, and great people all around. So that's me cruising out.
What is this breathtaking ride with the skirts? Oh my goodness, that is just stunning.
That is a Peugeot Darmont. That is a fantastic car. Yes, and that car was my favorite out of the auction. So Gary did, it's called a replevin, I believe, a seizure. A gentleman had pledged a bunch of collector cars as loans for collateral for loans and defaulted on the loans. And Gary had to fly around the United States and seize them all, make sure they were still in the right places, make sure they're still in the same condition.
Yep.
And this particular piece was one of those, and it was like a piece of jewelry.
Oh, yes.
It's something I would have in my living room if I had the space and the money.
Yeah. It's
really
funny because I thought it was a Peugeot, but I just didn't recognize that breathtaking styling. But I guess back in the day.
I know.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, very epic, very incredibly French. Oh, so swoopy. Yeah. I love the butt on that car.
To me, it's almost got a Delahaye feel to it.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, you're 100% correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With that rear and the fender skirts and the fenders, everything about it's dirty.
Yeah. We got a couple more here coming up, I think. Now this is kind of like you all's kind of pride and joy place, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that's our baby. And we actually flew up to Canada to Multimatic, and that's us while it's getting built. That's a 2018 Gurney edition. It was it's a fantastic car. It's Gary's favorite, I think.
I think you're right.
Well, yeah, it's beautiful. And that was like please take a picture of us, even though you're not supposed to.
Well, of course, a very special moment. We got one more pick here. So this is a really cool motorcycle. Now, if my eyes don't deceive me, it's near your kitchen?
Yeah, I had just brought it into detail, and right now it's in my dining room. That's my Muglite. I So, as a little girl, I lusted after motorcycles, and my mom was a nurse, and it irritated the heck out of her that I love motorcycles so much. And I went out, I bought the gargoyle sunglasses in the 80s when I got myself a job, and I got the
Oh yeah,
motorcycle
I remember
jacket,
those.
and and I was hell bent on having one of these, and here it is in my house. I
Oh, I
love
love
that
it.
bike, and
I love
it was
it.
actually done. It was restored by our friend Brett Hatfield, who's a writer, an amazing writer, and that was his personal bike. And I'm just, oh my gosh, we're just thrilled to have it. Oh, love that thing. And
Very,
yeah,
very cool.
it lives in the house.
Now, so what I'm going to do when I go home today, I'm going to let Mary know, say, hey, Muffy said it's okay. We're going to bring the Super Bear in the living room. Now, we may have to open up a couple doorways, but to be able to, detail it inside the house, air conditioned, very climate controlled. Okay, so before we say goodbye to her, just to let viewers know, her and Gary are really connected as far as people in the industry and some of the celebrities. We got a few pics of people that have had the pleasure to hang out with you.
Oh, you're so kind. That's not a NASCAR meeting. That's Jack Roush. He's a nifty guy.
Yes, he
really
is.
He's very cool. Wow. Oh, this is a stroll down memory lane.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Carol.
with Carol. Wow.
Yeah, may he rest in peace. He was a friend of Gary's first, and
Yeah.
a really, just a legend. And that is the worst picture of me, but I do not care because I'm next to the most amazing man on the planet in the collector car industry and the racing world, in my opinion. I just love that
Period.
man. Oh,
Very well said. Now the viewers might recognize this guy.
yes, Jay Leno, such a sweet man. He's such a great individual, and his taste in cars is impeccable.
Yes.
And he'd come out to the auction on occasion, and we'd get to spend some quality time with him. And he's really neat and very
Yes.
sweet. I adore
Yep.
him.
Yes, he is. Hey, there's
Chip.
Chip.
Yeah, Chip's awesome. Every year we run into him at SEMA, and we do the usual catch up, and I take the selfie, and then we go along our merry way. And I met him because of that 32 that you showed earlier. That
Right.
particular car was one that I mentioned he designed. Well, I got a replica of the 32 AMBR trophy because the original one went missing somehow, and I had him sign it, and he drew an image of the car on the trophy.
Wow,
And from
beautiful.
that point onwards, Gary and I and Chip have kept in touch, and he's just, oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
talent that I wish I had a fraction of the talent that he had.
He,
Priming.
the concepts he can pull up with vehicles is amazing. Totally agree.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Total artist, and a great
Hey,
businessman.
there's
Tony!
there's Tony.
Tony's so funny.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, every single NASCAR race we'd go to, and we still see him at races. And Gary will say, "Let's get a picture," and Tony will say, "Can you please duck down?" So if you dig through some of my social media profiles, you'll see that I'm the same size as he is in a number of the images.
I love it.
That's by design.
It's by
I
design.
love that guy. He's normal sized. I'm the mutant, by the way, guys. Just so you know, he's a normal sized individual. I'm God love him.
That's exactly right. And anybody into Mopars or in the movies, WWE, you got to know who Bill Goldberg is.
Yes, Bill and Gary. Gary has known Bill for decades. They've been friends forever. I think their kids used to play together or something. I don't remember what the story is, but yeah, that's this past SEMA, and every year we run into him, and he's just the coolest guy. I think he still has one of Gary's race cars. Gary had a Camaro that he built, and he raced vintage Trans Am series with, and I think Bill still owns that.
Cool.
He's such a great car guy.
Yes, we had the pleasure of interviewing Bill when we were at SEMA last fall, and just what an amazing guy. And he's just kind of that A-type personality all the time.
Boy, he is, isn't he? He's on all the time. There's no off switch with that man. And I can identify with that. I've got like a Ferrari brain with stock Chevy brakes. You know, I mean, just my mind doesn't ever stop. And I can't, and I get it. So that's why I think he's cool. He's a great dude.
But I like that analogy with me. I tell her about, I have like the energy of an Irish setter with the attention span of a gerbil. And so it just, any given day, or a blender set on frappe with no lid on. You don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to stick somewhere, right?
I love that. Those are great comparisons. I might have to borrow one. I'll quote you.
Well, it would be my pleasure. I think we got some contact information for our viewers. If you can kind of walk us through that quickly.
Of course, certainly. My personal website is muffybennett.com. Gary and I have joined forces, figuratively speaking, and we have the husband and wife carteam.com. As
cool.
hokey as that sounds, we get a lot of traffic there. My personal email is muffy@muffybennett.com. On LinkedIn, I am most active. Instagram, I'll post once in a while. I don't have a whole lot of time for social media, but LinkedIn brings in a lot of business for me. So anyway, that's how you get a hold of me, and I'd love to hear from you.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, girlfriend, we cannot thank you enough for being on the show. I know we're going to run each other. Our goal is we actually get to spend time maybe before SEMA, because SEMA is always a bore, and we're lucky if we get our usual annual selfie.
Please, I look forward to it. And Mike, thank you so much for having me on. It means the world, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
It was our honor. Please tell Gary howdy. Good luck detailing the motorcycle in your dining room, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. In the interim, God bless. Take care.
All right, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. Do me a favor, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit that subscribe button naturally, and tell all your friends what we're doing. That was Muffy Bennett, the first lady of collector cars, and her husband, Gary, they're high on my list of exceptionally cool people. Reach out to them. Anything in the car world you want to learn more about, they're going to be able to help you. And until next time, enjoy the ride.